Welcome to E4 Electric live stream Tuesday Hangouts. As you probably see, we're doing something very different today. At least I'm doing something very different today. Hopefully, you'll join me to do the same. So uh, we're discussing today what's missing in your electric car. See, I even put it right here. Um, I think most of us are pretty happy with our electric cars. I love my new ID4. I love my Volt that's in my garage. I'm streaming from Las Vegas right now, and I also wanted to see if things. So this is a completely brand new setup. Lots of things will go wrong. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if the music is too loud. I got some background music going on. So let me know about it all. And we're going to talk about what is the probably short wish list that we have for our electric cars. And we're going to start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of electric car scoop. Hopefully, there are not too many of us who are doing that. I think most people are concentrating on Tesla, but we're talking about everything today. Oh, so here's what we're doing different today. I'll tell you guys what's missing from my ID4. And after that, obviously, we'll jump into the chat. Let's see how that's going. Let me just kind of like project it right here. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool features. Let's see. Well, we'll see if it will work. But a lot of things won't work today. Just like I said, this is a brand new thing. And then what I want to do is I want to bring you guys in. If you have a webcam and a mic, which I think like everybody does at this point, I wanna bring you in and just chat one-on-one for like a few minutes and see what you're up to. I think it's cool when people are actually interacting live and with me, because when I meet some of you in person, it's always the best conversations that I have. And I figured, why haven't I ever, but you got to be brave enough. One, you gotta have your webcam and your mic ready to go. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat in a second. Now, of course, I won't be able to get everybody in there. I know Nate from last time. I think he's our super chat leader. So, of course, the super chats will get a priority, and then the premium members, of course, will get a priority. I have my buddy Eli here, who is actually driving in his awesome Model S, who will probably be the guinea pig of this and chime in. So, yeah, and also don't forget, as always, let me know where you're watching me from and what kind of electric car you have. I see people watching from Texas and Florida and Iowa. You know what? I kind of wanted to get like maybe a virtual map and just pin everybody. Every time somebody says that they're from just different area, just pin, because I had people watching from like Australia and Africa and Asia. I mean, this is just amazing how this whole thing works. So. And I'm also streaming on 3 platforms at the same time. Obviously YouTube, but also I'm streaming right. I'm hoping I'm streaming right now. Ask my assistant Michael to let me know. Let's see if he is letting me know. Not yet, maybe. Says all looks good. So yeah, I'm trying to stream on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So this is a big thing that I'm doing. So. Let me, obviously, let me know if you want to be on camera with me. I got like a little split screen going here. Look, Sweden and Lithuania. Oh, wow. UK, Cupertino, California, says Dean. That's where I moved to when I came to America, because Apple headquarters was there. My dad was kind of working with them. Ireland. By the way, I do sound a little weird today. I caught a bit of a cold, so not so much cold, but just my throat. So. As you can see, Blue Man Group Cup, very appropriate for Las Vegas. Lisa's here from Utah, of course. Germany. Ooh, Dr. Peras, why aren't you at the car show? There's a car show going on. France, Barbados. Ooh, Barbados, nice. Anyway, cheers to you guys. Let's get going. I will start first about what are the things that are missing in my ID4. Now, if you haven't, are you vaccinated? Yes, I am vaccinated. Got my vaccine pretty much as soon as I could. And, I also live in Sacramento. Actually, most of the time I live in Sacramento. And when you go to San Francisco and Oakland, there are a lot of places who literally ask you for the vaccination card. So it's kind of a must have. All right. So my ID4, which I dearly love, as you guys know, and of course, full disclosure, Volkswagen is one of the sponsors of this channel. They're not the sponsor of this live stream, but they're one of the sponsors. So love it dearly. But here are a few things that I wish it would have. Um, the app. The app is absolutely horrible. I think if you guys watched me in a last live stream and my video about my like 3 month review, if this car didn't come with the app, I probably would be less upset as a consumer. I'm still upset. Don't get me wrong, but I would be less upset because the app is so awful, where you can literally just, first of all, it only has like two features. One of them is pretty important to me, which is cool down the car, because here in in Las Vegas right now it's like 115 degrees. Back home in Sacramento, back other home in Sacramento is about 100, right? So every time I get into the car, that's how I got sick actually. It's really hot, and I want the car to be cooled down before I get there. I mean, you Tesla owners know what I'm talking about. That app's been there for a long time. So thank you for the super chat from my Tesla adventure, Eli. I think you will be the first split screen guest. Pair character cheerfully blowing a party horn. I appreciate that, Eli. I really do. We'll talk in just a second, but yeah, I think you already have the link. I will, once Eli makes his appearance, I'll drop another link for you guys to join if you want to. I know Nate's probably going to go next. And like I said, it will be all in matter of like super chats and premium members and stuff like that. I think it's fair. So anyway, so you can literally push the button, say, okay, I want my air conditioning to be turned on. It will take forever for it to say, oh, okay, I actually turned it on. And a lot of times it actually wouldn't. And then when it does, it doesn't blow the air very hard. So by the time you get there, the cabin is not really cooled that much. It's a disaster. Oh, and by the way, you also have to log in into the app twice. You log in into the app first, and then it says, well, here are all the Volkswagens that you have. You're like, okay, you mean that one I have? Okay. So then you have to log in into that one car that you have. Absolutely awful. So that's my beef with it. I wish it would have a really good app. Tesla just updated their app, which was already great, into something even better. I know there's a couple of features I've heard people are missing from before, and I would like that. Roger M says, "Hey Alex, dude, the famous Tesla delusional fanboy Warren Redlick. Been calling you out. The man is in love with Elon." I think we went over that. I mean, I don't know unless he did it again, but I went over to his channel and we had a nice live debate. I don't know if you guys seen it. So I think that's been kind of taken care of. There's nothing else I can do. Mark in the chat room says the Audi app sucks too. I doubt it sucks as bad as the ID4, but it is the same Volkswagen Group family. So maybe it actually does. I have brought it up to Volkswagen's attention. I absolutely want them to succeed. So I definitely told them that, like, hey, that's not okay, guys. So that's my number one thing. My number two thing is probably more mine than anybody's, but like I still have a Pixel 3, right? And Google still sells them refurbished, but still technically new on their website. So there are people who are still buying this brand new, and yet it is on the list of phones that is not compatible with the ID4, which is, again, what's going on. All right, so that's number two. I mean, there's a few others. For example, like I realized for the first 3 months, including when I parked my car in Oakland, where I go almost every weekend, I thought when I walk away, the car locks itself. Guess what? Every time I walked away, my car was completely unlocked. Now, sometimes you can argue that if someone's going to break into your car, you kind of want them to just get in there and without breaking the window, because if they decided they're going to, they go into. But still, I realized that you do have to push a little button on the door to lock it. So I wish it had that. These are probably the most important ones. Of course, it's a little slow to load up, but I know the over-the-air update was promised to us, and I think it's already rolling through Europe, that will actually make it much better. Yeah. Jay Ramirez asks, have you ever used an iPhone? Yeah, I actually was one of the first adopters for I bought it almost right away within the first month of it coming out. That was my first and last iPhone. I just don't like cults. I don't know if you guys noticed. I just don't like to belong to a brand that kind of owns me and everything, and I have to love it. I mean, I can switch it to an. I'm probably going to get another Pixel, whatever, 5A, but I can switch it to anything else, right? Um, by the way, let me know how's the background music, guys. It's something new I'm trying. I'm not. I mean, let me know if the background music is too loud or not loud enough. Okay, so I let you guys to chime in. I probably won't be able to answer as many questions today as I normally would, but let me try something different. I'm going to try to get Eli back here in my studio. If you guys are not familiar, Eli, go ahead and click on that link. So we'll hopefully connect in a second. If you guys are not familiar with Eli, Eli's been a contributor to the show for a while. He is the president of My Tesla Adventure, which is one, and Eli will correct me once he gets on here. One, he is it's an official Tesla club, Tesla fan club, right? But also he does amazing events for Tesla owners. I don't even have a Tesla anymore, I try to go almost every time. It really is an adventure. He recently went to Europe, if you follow him on social media, and he went through Europe and he slept on the back of his car and it's most amazing places. If you haven't checked that out, definitely subscribe to him on Instagram. And so Instagram, My Tesla Adventure, just like E4 Electric, anywhere on any social media, I'm assuming, except for Snapchat. All right, so looks like he's driving. Looks like he's ready to go. Let's see if we can bring him in and have a little conversation. Eli, welcome. You are the first split screen little guest. Oh, there she is. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want your daughter on camera, but
oh yeah, it's fine. Dude, thanks for having me on, by the way. Yeah, I got my kid in the back seat behind me. So I'm in the car today because I have just begun my 2,000-mile each way road trip to Starbase, which is down in Brownsville, Texas, at the very southern tip by the Gulf.
Very nice. Well, what are you doing there?
We're just going to go see the Starship. That's basically the whole point. Me and Zubin, you've met him. He drives the One Fast EV, also from the Bay Area Tesla community. He has that crazy rap. He had this idea to do this road trip. We're going to drive there in like 2 straight days. So 2,000 miles in like 48 hours.
That's pretty cool. Wait a second. How do I get back? Okay, hold on a second. Oh, there you go. I'm still trying to figure out how to run this damn thing and how to put all the graphics. Wait a second.
It looks like I'm full screen now.
You are full
my shirt.
screen now.
I'm rocking the appropriate attire for today's adventure.
While I'm learning how to use this thing, let me know, we're talking about what are the things that are missing from your electric car. And I know you have one of the most awesome ones, as you call it, the Starship. Tell me what's still missing in yours?
Well, unlike your ID4 experience where I watched you turn on the air conditioner and it took 2.5 minutes, the new Tesla app is even faster than before. So when I turn on the mobile app now, it used to sometimes take 30 seconds to wake up the car. That's gone. It is starting to air in the car within 4 or 5 seconds. But what's missing, I actually have a feature request for Tesla I'm going to try and time with Elon. As you know, I sleep in my Tesla all the time. I use camper mode. It would be really great is if we had a Bluetooth connection between the car and the phone app so that we could control aspects of the vehicle from the phone as a remote when we're in areas without signal. So it's not uncommon if you're going off in the mountains and camping, you don't have phone signal and it's difficult to do things like lock the vehicle when you're ready to go to bed and change the climate without having to like climb up to the front seat. So I would love to see that. I mean, that's definitely a lifestyle add-on for the way I use my Tesla, but that would be a huge benefit to me.
All right. Well, yeah, nice. And while taking a dump on ID4 like a true Tesla fan, I like that. But it is what it is. Like I got to tell you, like I told Volkswagen, like it's such a disservice to this, which I consider to be an amazing car, especially for the price, to have such a crappy app that does nothing but just piss me off every time I use it.
It's actually kind of unbelievable they released an app that bad in 2021, especially considering it only does like 2 things. Like It had one job. How do you get it that bad? Like, if I came from a product development background in software, I was director of product. If I was responsible for that product, I would be fired, and I probably wouldn't be employable ever again.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what honestly I'm not gonna lie. That's what I would suggest that they do is actually like fire whoever, you know. And don't forget, this app is not new for ID4. Volkswagen already had an app. It's not like they're new. They're not new at it. And I think I can hire people on Fiverr from like Ukraine to do a better job. And yeah, it's unbelievable that somehow it is actually released. And even when the first app, the Tesla app, was released, yeah, it was slow, but it actually did its job perfectly. While you log into it, and then they approve it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but it's definitely very odd. All
You
right,
know,
cool, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have another feature. Sorry, I can't hear you. My bad.
I think you're now breaking in and out, my friend. Wait a second, you got to repeat it. I think. Oh, we just lost Eli. All right, we lost Eli, but that's okay. At least things are working somewhat. Oh, here he's back. Let's see.
All right, so I got it before it loses me again. I got one other feature that I know every Tesla owner that's in this is also going to probably agree with me on. And Elon has promised it to us for like 2 years, but we haven't seen it. And that's waypoint navigation. This trip I'm on right here is a perfect example of where I want waypoint navigation. I entered in my nav. I'm driving to Brownsville, Texas. There's like a dozen supercharging stops, but I have some stops planned that I want to make that are not necessarily what the car needs to charge. I would really love to be able to say, I want to go here, here, and then here, and say, Tesla, okay, you handle it. You tell me where I need to charge, understanding that these landmarks that I want to stop at. For a road trip person, not having waypoint navigation makes it more difficult than it should be.
All right. So. Wait a second. I can't imagine that. I thought that this has been already figured out. That the waypoints. Are you saying that still Tesla doesn't have it? Because I mean, I haven't had Tesla in a while. So are you saying that still has not been implemented?
So you can only navigate between point A and point B. You can't say I want to go to point A, point B, and point C.
Wow. See, this is the same thing as ID4 app, right? Like this is not a difficult thing to do, and everybody else knows how to do it quite well. I'm actually.
It's really easy. And in fact, Elon has like been dragged multiple times into saying he'll do it. I think for some reason, Elon just doesn't want to do this feature. That's my only explanation, because it isn't that complicated. Like, it's really not. But they haven't done it yet. And I think Elon just doesn't want to. So he's been dragging his feet. But hopefully we get it this year, because it'd be a really nice addition.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I'm actually a little bit shocked by that. All right. Okay, but look, I figured out how to put names on the. All right, I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay, so Eli, once again, it's great to see you. I'm sure we'll chat once I'm back. But thank you for being my very first guest here. At least I know things are sort of working. And let's get more people on here. Drive safe.
Thanks for having me, man. I'll jump off.
All right, man. All right. Well, that went relatively well. All right. So next one, I'm going to put a link in the chat room. So you guys, this is the link to invite people to do exactly the same thing what Eli did. I know Nate is next, so I'm going to put it. But make sure that you actually want to be on the air, and make sure your webcam and the mic is working. I mean, obviously, if you had a Zoom meeting ever in your life, which I'm hoping you have, that should be figured out. Now, I'm not saying I may not be able to get to everybody, and if I like kick you out of the stream, that means I just probably won't be able to, or you're gonna have to join a little bit later. It might stress out my computer. So, like I said, totally uncharted category, but boom, here's the link in the chat. And meanwhile, I will catch up. Okay? So I've lowered the background music. I think somebody said it was a little bit too distracting, but let me know if that's good now. The only thing is that I can't figure out who are the premium members, because I'm now looking at the chat from the perspective of the software. So I'm sorry if I'm not necessarily recognizing all of you guys. I have my chat here also. All right. Fatmas, as always, good to see you. I don't want to call you by your real name. I know your real name because we've chatted for a while. But I appreciate it. You said uh, have hope for Volkswagen. The GM app used to be god awful, just their ICE app with ads for gas stations even. But then they released a new one that's CV specific and several times better. All right, cool. It's it can't get any worse, right? So all right, so I see Eugene is ready to go, but Nate is jumping on. I'm going to take Nate first. As a matter of fact, you guys just hold on for a second. I think I have plenty of people already who are wanting to go. Let's see if Nate's camera works. But we're still going to discuss what's missing in your electric vehicle. It's actually quite interesting that Eli had quite a few things to mention about that. But all right, Nate, while you're getting your stuff ready, it looks like you're in, but I don't see your camera. I'm going to get Eugene in. Eugene, hope you're ready. And here we go. What's going on, my friend? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Welcome. Actually, we've never talked. We always talk online, so I appreciate you coming on and being a fan. When was the first time you saw one of my videos, actually?
Oh, I don't know, like probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Just I've kind of been interested in EVs for a while and just came across your videos.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. All right. Well, tell us what you're driving and tell us what's missing in your electric car.
I've got the Volt.
All right. Welcome.
And
you love it, right? I mean, we both in the
oh,
agreement that
I think yeah, everyone who has the Volt loves it, and I think it's the car with from what I read, it's the greatest difference between what people can afford and what they and what they buy. Whereas for Tesla, it's like a stretch goal.
yeah, no. And don't you think it's a great I call it a gateway drug for electric cars,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I would have never gotten an EV without it, because I actually moved to the US like 4 years ago, and at first I lived in an apartment here, and it's like didn't have charging, and we had charging at work, but it's obviously extremely limited because we have a lot of people with EVs at work, and it's like sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't get it. And even at the apartments, there were some outside outlets that I could use to charge, but sometimes they were available, sometimes they weren't. But it just got me used to the idea that EVs are great, and actually your daily driving isn't as much as you think it is. And it's absolutely the perfect gateway drug. And the feature that I miss the most from it, I mentioned it in the chat, is some version of like Tesla's dog mode, because sometimes you just want to. I've actually camped in my Volt, and
Great.
I fit. I'm like 6'2", and I fit.
Wow.
If you put the back seats down, actually I camped with my girlfriend, now wife, and we both fit. It was a tight squeeze. But we got to a campsite and didn't feel like setting up the camp, and we actually spent the night in the back of it. And I thought I could just leave the power on. I specifically didn't use the battery to leave power for the climate control overnight, and it switches off after like an hour of not moving. And it was really annoying to have to get up in the night, kind of crawl to the pedal, press the brake pedal, press the button.
Wow, okay, all right. Which is easier when you're 6'2" on like 5'8". I really have to make a move. You're probably just
yeah, and I'd say it's the
oh, there she is.
yeah, Yeah, it's basically the perfect vehicle. I it actually I know I would like go against a lot of the EV community, but I seriously don't think full EVs are a good idea for most people right now. Like if uh, oh, my wife is just asking me to.
You got daddy duties right at the same time, life or not.
Uh, yeah. So basically, um, if I had an EV with like twice the range of the Volt, I would seriously not use gas. Like I don't use, well, right now with the pandemic, I haven't filled up in like 6 months. Before it was very occasional. If I had an EV with like 100-mile range, um, I would not use gas for like 98% of the time, and that way you have all of the advantages of an EV with like literally none of the downsides. I had kind of great hopes for the new Mazda MX-30.
Really?
The
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're
with
the one. Okay.
but unfortunately, I found out that due to some really stupid California regulations, where in order to qualify for the zero emissions credit for a range extender, you cannot have a gas range more than the EV range.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's only going to have like 120 miles of gas range apparently, and so you, which is really stupid. I think the BMW i3 was kind of hamstrung by that in the US as well.
Yeah.
And I have a friend with an i3, and he actually hacked his car to use the European software so that it wasn't artificially because like in the US the gas range is artificially limited to be no more than the electric range.
Yeah.
Um,
By the way, somebody in the chat room says Eugene needs a PHEV. He already has the PHEV. That's what
yeah,
we're
I have a
talking about.
PHEV. I have a Volt.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool, man. Interesting about the camper mode. I've never heard of anybody, camping in the Volt. But I mean, I totally understand. Even if you're not camping, sometimes you just want to chill in your car for 2 or 3 hours.
Or like you have groceries that might spoil in the heat, and you just want to leave it cool for 2 hours. Yeah.
The ID4 has that feature, but I mean, I think I think a lot of people who are making electric cars are not like fully actually aware what like they need to get a Tesla or another electric car before they design the new cars. But they will improve. They will improve. So that's the hope. But hey, it was great chatting with you.
Yeah, nice finally like meeting you.
Yeah, I think is it a boy or girl?
Girl.
Girl. Well, I think she needs some daddy time. So I'll let you go. And yeah, thanks for being supportive throughout all these years, man. I really appreciate it. But I'm sure we'll do this again.
Cheers.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, guys. It looks like Nate is also ready to go. But let me say thank you to Angel for a $5 super chat. He asks, are you guys going to VCF Midwest? The 8-bit guy and other retro guys are going there. Oh yeah, 8-bit guy, awesome dude. He's been a guest on my show, I think once or twice. Honestly, I go to okay, so the shows that I go to are either have to be local to me, meaning Sacramento, San Francisco Bay Area, or here in Las Vegas. Like I'll be going to NAB, I'll be going to CES here. Or maybe even LA, or somebody has to fly me out there. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a princess, but like when I cover events, we journalists, we don't just have a budget to. It never is worth paying for travel to get one video out, if that. For example, at the end of next week, I'm going to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to check out Volkswagen's factory that they've converted into making electric cars. They're going to start making the ID4 there. I'll get to drive the all-wheel drive version of the ID4. And so, but that, the brand pays for the trip. So that's how usually journalists, travel. So All right, it looks like Nate is ready to go. Nate is. I hope I answered your question, by the way, and thank you for super chat, Angel. I really do appreciate it. Here's another one before I get to Nate. $2 super chat from Inner G84. Thank you so much. He or she, I can't see the avatar. Sorry. See Extra Technologies at the Battery Show Expo 9 on the 14th. Like I said, I don't even know what that show is, but I mean, if it's in Vegas, let me know. I'd love to go. All right, looks like Nate is ready. I think so. Nate's been I think well, we'll ask him, but I think almost every time he's here, he is super chats, which I definitely appreciate. So let's see if we can bring in Nate. Nate, how are you, my friend? Can you hear me? Because I can barely hear you. Hello? Let me know if you can hear me, because I can sort of hear you, but not really. All right. Well, let's see if you can fix the audio issue, but I know you are in your truck from what I understand, right? And the reception is probably not perfect, but let's see. Let's see if it gets fixed. Meanwhile, 2-Bit Da Vinci says, what's up? Ricky, how are you, my friend? Let me know if you want to jump in with me. I put a link here. I'll put a link in the chat again, Ricky. So if you want to join me, just join me this way. Nate, you are frozen and I cannot hear you, so I will have to say bye for now. Hopefully we'll do it again once you're in a better reception area. All right, let me catch up on some of the chat. Somebody called me. That's not a good sign. Who called me? Okay, all right. You should have Streamlabs. I'm using Restream, Jay Ramirez. Also, he says Ford needs to do an electric truck unless they're letting Rivian handle that. They are doing the electric truck. It's probably going to come out, you know, would be the second electric truck on the market, unless Lordstown Motors actually bids them to the market. So this chat here is like, I can't tell which members are premium, which ones are not. Ooh, my cough is catching up with me a little. Just if you're tuning in, by the way, guys, we are talking about what's missing in your electric cars. We heard from a few people, and let me know if you want to join me live. All you need is like a, webcam and a mic, just like you do, in regular meetings. Boom! I have another $5 super chat from a Master Mason 32. The question is, how do you feel about the acceleration in the ID4? I live in Florida. It's very hard to get honest information except for YouTube. Okay, so here's the thing. Every time I tried to, every time I'm on a red light and I try to just floor it, I don't remember last time somebody beat me, Now, no one's racing me. Mind you, this is just people driving off of a stoplight like a regular people. No one's racing me. So I'm sure if people would be racing me, that would not be the case. But the reason I'm mentioning it is because that means that ID4 goes faster than most people are comfortable with, no matter how much power they have in their cars. Even Teslas. I've beaten some Teslas. And again, when I say beaten, I just got ahead of Teslas, just because even when you have a Tesla that's super powerful, people don't want to always launch like they're going to Mars. With that said, definitely everybody who reviewed this car said that the power is its weakest point. I think the app is the weakest point. But you're talking to a wrong guy if you want to talk about power. I don't care about power. The way it accelerates is more than enough for me. I care more about a cushy ride, how quiet it is on the inside, and just generally the build quality on the inside. And I get all of that with ID4. That's why I bought it. But if you do want to take off and race people and take it to the racetrack and stuff like that, ID4 is not the car for you at all. And I think it's 0 to 60. I don't remember, but I think it's like under 7 seconds maybe. Now, the all-wheel drive version I'll be test driving in next week in Chattanooga will obviously be much faster, right? And then you will have another option. I also do think that they have an option that's fast already, but I I do drive my ID4 in a sports mode. I should mention that. So I still, it's such a personal choice, guys. I still encourage you to go to a Volkswagen dealership. Most of them will have at least one ID4 as a demo car, and just try it for yourself. For me, it's more than enough. For you, it may not be more than enough. So I encourage you to sort of try it yourself. Hope that answers your question. Another super chat. Mark Kramer says, I love your videos. Thank you for doing what you do. I really appreciate it, Mark. That's one of the biggest super chats I got. And it is in US dollars. Sometimes somebody sends 200, of something. I'm like, oh, those are rubles. Okay. Still, I appreciate it. But wow, $20. I really appreciate it. And of course, as you guys know, it goes towards to Chipotle. But Tom Malogny, as you probably know, the contributor to this channel, is just sent me a birthday gift card to Chipotle that I'm going to be using for a while. So thank you, Tom. Tom is actually in Germany right now at the IAA, formerly known as Frankfurt Auto Show. I'm super jealous, not gonna lie. But at the same time, I get to talk to you guys. Let's see. Ricky, where are you at? I sent you the link right here. So if you want to join me, join me. Nate, I can see is trying one more time. Let's see if that works. But hopefully I answered all the questions. Let me see so far. Johnny says, I love my brand new Model S, but if I had a couple of 120 volt plugs, it would be better. Seems like an easy addition. Okay, yeah, no, that's a lot of, I think almost every single electric truck that's coming on the market will have that. But yeah, why would normal car not have it? I think Ioniq 5. No, I know Ioniq 5 will have that. Leonard says, Leonard, welcome back. Good to see you again, my friend. I've seen a lot of ID4s around town lately. Remind me where you're at. I've seen one in Sacramento yesterday. I was still in Sacramento last night. And the guy was waving at me and talking to me while we were driving. It was awesome. It's kind of like when I had Tesla, back in 2012, 2013. All right. Let me know, Ricky, if you want to join, but it looks like Nate might be ready again. Let me try to bring Nate in for just one more second so we can try. All right, Nate, what's going on? Can you hear or see me now? Can we hear you? Oh, nope, he just ran away right away. Maybe it's not our day, Nate. Maybe a better spot. Well, here it is again.
And now I can hear.
All right. Oh, look at that.
Good.
Finally. Third time is a charm. How you doing, my friend? Where are you?
Right now, I'm in Green Bay.
All right. And so tell everybody, tell everybody what you do, what you're driving right now, and what you drive at home when you have your electric car.
Well, I currently don't have an electric car, but I drive an 18-wheeler tractor trailer for a living. Although I have many talents. I went to Bible college. I went to Southwest Wisconsin College. I have 2 associates from that. So I can do mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. I've got more talents. You can check it out.
What about your talent?
Actually, an idea for.
Nate, what about your talent of buying electric cars? Do you have an electric car? I think you.
But I have a design in mind for a.
I can't hear
Was I
you.
hearing myself there, or did you ask me something else?
You're breaking in and out. That's why I'm saying. Because okay, let's try one more thing, because I actually was kind of curious about you're a truck driver, right? With the electric car, with the electric trucks that are coming up. And he left us. All right, Nate, let's try to do it next time. But my question to you would be, of course, what do you think about self-driving, electric trucks? Because that sort of obviously is a concern for a lot of, drivers, a lot of semi-truck drivers, right? Because it's, you make a living that way, and all of a sudden, boom, the truck might be able to drive itself, especially because it's the easiest, I think, vehicle to train how to drive himself, because a lot of it is just like 99% of it is long stretches of the road, right? So definitely would love to hear about that. Let's try it next time. But next up, Ricky from 2-Bit Da Vinci. Ricky, how you doing, my friend? Thanks
Good.
for joining me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Not much. I saw you were live, and I thought I'd hop on and say, how's it going?
Yeah, man, I'm doing something different this time around. I think I'm going to continue with this, just bringing people in, and instead of just like picking people's like whatever questions, just like kind of talk live. But I'm had Eli on from my Tesla adventure as well, and well, so just in case if somebody in my audience still doesn't know who you are, tell us a little bit about your channel and what you drive.
Sure, yeah. So I run a channel called 2-Bit Da Vinci. We talk about just the future in general, really like cool breakthrough in batteries or energy storage and generation and stuff, and EVs and all of that. And Alex and I, we chat often. We kind of talk. We're kind of YouTube friends, if you will. We actually met up when we did the Chevy Bolt, I think, review.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I drive
they stopped letting us drive them.
Yeah. So I drive a Tesla Model 3 Performance, and Alex, I'm doing a video on the ID4, and I wanted to. One of the reasons I wanted to hop in really quick is to talk about the charging speed. So this is something that the ID4 is often punished for. So somebody in the chat mentioned Now You Know. I watched that video that Now You Know did. I think they did a really they did not do a very good job of making it clear.
What? Mickey, are you serious? You telling me the biggest Tesla fanboys, well, second biggest Tesla boys in the industry, did not like a Tesla competitor car?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Someone mentioned a link to my channel. If Claudia, if you're watching, or somebody if you can watch and put that in there, I can't message right now. But so the ID4 has a 125 kilowatt charge speed compared to my Tesla, which is 250. So on paper, you're thinking, oh my goodness, the Tesla's going to charge twice as fast, and the ID4 is going to be so slow. And if it takes an hour to charge my Tesla, it'll take 2 hours on a road trip for the ID4. Not true at all. So definitely, if you can, like, subscribe. I'll be releasing that video in the next couple of weeks. But I actually went in with 5% charge on my car and the ID4, and I charged them up. The first thing is always charge the fastest chargers you can. Like, don't use 50 kilowatt Electrify America chargers. That'll definitely slow you down. But if you charge as fast as the chargers are as fast as the car is capable of, what you'll see is that the charge rate tapers off really quickly. And like the Tesla Model 3 is only at 200 kilowatts for a few minutes, and then after that it tapers down. I can share some graphs. I don't have them handy to share or screen share, but anyways, the point was from like 20 to 80% charge, it takes 29 minutes in my Model 3 and 24 minutes in the Model 3 and 29 in the ID4. We're talking 5 minutes difference. That's it. And what's really crazy is from 5% to 100%, the ID4 actually beat my Model 3. And the reason is Tesla's very, very, very delicate, and it treats their batteries when it's really near full. And they taper the charge rate way down. So after a while, the ID4 catches up because the ID4 doesn't taper the charge rate quite as much. So after about 90%, the ID4 actually charges faster. That's one of the reasons why people tell you if you drive a Tesla, like once it's like 80, 85%, if you can make it to the next stop, just take off. Don't waste your time charging at that slower speed. Anyway, a little tidbit of information. I'll have more information on this on my video, but charging speeds are not so straightforward.
And I think the reason for that is also, ID4, like a lot of non-Tesla EVs have a buffer. So obviously it will charge a little bit faster at the end because it's not really the end, right? All right, well, so Master Mason 32 says, Zach and Jesse, I love Tesla so much. Let's be realistic. They will have a hard time giving completely honest, unbiased reviews of other cars. That's been kind of, I on that video, I did post a comment saying, hey guys, I posted the same comment as I posted on Warren's video. Let me come on and let's talk about it, because I mean, I felt like it wasn't a very fair review, but my expectations were kind of low. So I guess that's
so. The question when I logged in, somebody had asked me was how fast is the ID4, right? And my response, I wrote the response. I think it played on the screen, but I will say that as far as any of the electric vehicles that you can buy in America, I think the ID4 is the slowest EV you can buy. I've never driven a slower one, but that's still faster than the gas equivalents. That's why you're always winning at the light, because if you're comparing it to like a gasoline RAV4 or a CRV, which I think is the person who should be cross shopping the ID4, it's going to be fine. If you're coming from that, you're going to love it. If you had I have a performance Model 3, the ID4 is going to feel very slow. And you, like you said, it's not the car for you if you're looking for like a performance car. But if you're looking for a crossover for your family, like I took my kids and all of our strollers and bags on a trip, it was incredible. It is one of the quietest, the most isolated, like the road noise, the wind noise is among the lowest. In fact, I think you'd have to step up into like the $60,000 range to find cars that are as quiet and comfortable. The suspension, again, not sporty at all, but it's comfortable. And on a road trip, I drove it about 1,300 miles. On a road trip after a couple of hours, you can really appreciate how little fatigue you feel, both in like talking to the people in the cabin was super quiet. You don't feel like you're not talking at a higher audio level to make up for the road noise like you do in some cars. And the seats are comfortable and the suspension. It is a fantastic road trip car. I did. I didn't even know about it the first time, but you told me about it. I turned them on. It's subtle, but it's good. I just had them on all the time. Why not?
It's actually not as subtle as like say BMW. When I had a 7 Series, that massager was just rocking you left and right. This massager is actually going over your bed. I mean, obviously it's not like that $10,000 massage chairs, and I did know there was one in the passenger built in until I went on a date and we were driving. And I was like, yeah, I have a massager. It's like, I got a massager too. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's my car. I know better. And she was right. There was a massager in the passenger seat as well, which is, they didn't have to do that, right? Nobody would complain. Well,
what's crazy is, I mean, imagine what kind of class of car you'd have to step up to get things like massaging seats and things. This is with tax incentives, state and federal, a $30,000 car. That's crazy.
It is crazy, and I'm going to the Chattanooga factory next week, and once they start making the ID4s in the Chattanooga factory, it will drop the price by another $5,000, which is, now that's going to be insane, right? Where you can get this car after incentives, under 30,000, 25,000, which is just, so yeah. And I think, but I also, I mean, let me ask you this: do you think that a lot of hate that comes up, about ID4 from Tesla community is because it is such a good competitor for a good price, or do you think people really hate it?
It's a good question. I think first of all, people in the Tesla community expect that speed because Teslas have always, there's no slow Tesla. There's no such thing as a low performance Tesla. The slowest Tesla is still like 5.8 seconds 0 to 60, right? That's a quick car. That's not too long ago. That was like a BMW M3 or a 335 or something. So
yeah,
that expectation might be there. But what the funny thing is, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of people in some of the various trips I've been on, and the ID4 has got some love too. There's some people who really like it, and for them, it's like a good car. But I don't like this comparison to Tesla all the time. I think there's different kinds of cars for different kinds of people. The ID4 is a competitor to the RAV4 and the CRV. If you're looking at one of those two cars and they're gas, or maybe like a RAV4 Prime or a CRV hybrid, check out the ID4 and drive it and take it on a trip and spend some time with it. If you want a longer trip, Turo, get on Turo and take it for a day or two. And I think that's the competition. I don't compare everything to Tesla. I think if you're into Tesla, you're probably into technology. You're looking at like cutting edge software updates and stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be happy you're getting a Tesla. That I don't think there's any comparison there. But I think for me, it's how can we get more people on electric? And the ID4 accomplishes that goal in a big time way. It's good enough to win over the old gas buyers.
I think so. And then, the price point, right? I mean, a lot of people, especially they're going to be buying their very first electric car, they don't want to spend $100,000. They want to try it, right? And they want to get what they actually are used to, because I feel like this is a great way to switch from a gas car. Like for example, there's no one pedal driving, but people are not used to it. That's too much, right? I still wish they would do it, and I think they will with the over-the-air update. But once you get into that car and you've never driven an electric car, I feel like it's such a smooth transition, but to something better. Would you agree?
The one pedal drive, I think I heard a little bit of that, but the one pedal drive is something I do wish it had. That's an EV feature that people who drive EVs definitely will want to see. But yeah, by the way, the software updates are real on that car. When I first drove it, we first talked about it back in March or February. I thought the UI was so unresponsive as to be almost impossible to use. But what I found this last time I drove it, it was vastly improved. So clearly they've updated the software, because it was completely night and day, the experience and the touch response and everything else. So they're definitely trying, and they're making strides. Do they make over-the-air updates? Do you know, for the ID4?
So I believe there's one already going over in Europe. We here in the US have not gotten it, but from what I understand, it will just actually make things much faster. The things that you and I complain about, that will take care of that. There's a super chat says just join, but I agree with almost everything you said, whatever it was, almost everything, from David McCarthy. Thank you so much for another super chat. But yeah, I mean, so I have to say that I've enjoyed watching your journey through getting to know the ID4, because I know you loved it, you hated it, you loved it, you hated it, but and you know, for good reasons. Like, I trust you when you criticize ID4, I listen. You know, when Zach and Jesse criticize ID4, I go like, but yeah, man, it's have you what are your thoughts on the Mustang Mach-E? I mean, that's sort of in the same category, and that was my second choice actually for my car.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, by the way. I think, by the way, the ID4, the biggest gripe I have, and I think it's going to get better, will be when they have better integration with in-car charging stops. The ID4 has a lot of work to do there, I think. First of all, like, as you're driving, you hit an uphill or you're coasting, the range approximation bumps around and the number of stops will change, and they need to dial that back a little and be a little more kind of get that figured out. Also, I mentioned I had a situation where it took me to a station that was out of commission. These things are going to get better. Like, EA has improved like a year ago when I first used it to now, vastly better. The integration is going to get better. These are things that I'm sure will get better, especially the stuff with that software that you can update over the air or on some interval. So the ID4, I think, is already shown a huge amount of promise and improvement, and I think in the next 6 months or so it'll get even better and all that. The Mach-E is a really awesome car as well. My gripe with the Mach-E is the throttle mapping. So the accelerated pedal and the braking pedal, they need to remap that. It's just so clunky. It feels like it almost feels like an automatic transmission gas car, where there's like cogs in it as you accelerate. Yeah. The regenerative braking is also kind of herky jerky. There's generally some improvements and some kind of, they need to smooth things out a little bit, right? Those are things that they're probably going to do over the air, and they can do. But it's a gorgeous car. I think the Mach-E, especially the front and side profile, is beautiful. It's probably my favorite looking EV in that segment. Yeah. But as far as like
let me just jump in on that one. I remember driving it in Malibu. That was the first drive, and it was in that Mustang Blue. And Malibu is full of exotic cars and Ferraris and all of that stuff. And still, the number of heads that I turned with that car was ridiculous. And same here. I was driving in Sacramento, the white one, and the media car, and also lots and lots of attention. People are really digging the look of the car, which I think is great. I actually like it from all angles. The back also, I love the back. So absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I had the same reaction. We were driving around getting coffee or going in and out, and people were like honking their horns and giving us attention. It was crazy, actually. Compared to I got a white Model 3 because I don't want attention. We mentioned this before. Yeah. And my car gets zero attention because there's hundreds of them. On any drive I take, I'll see at least 5 Model 3s in white, and I'm good at that. I'm not looking for attention. Yeah. But yeah, the Mach-E really does get people excited.
The color is a different thing, right? Like it's everybody's got their own taste. Like, for example, Claudia Roy says the red Mach-E is the most beautiful, right? So I think it's the blue. So everyone's got their own thing, but I think it looks beautiful in most colors. And before you continue, I just wanted to say thank you for a super chat, $5 once again from Master Mason 32 says, appreciate the stream, glad I was able to catch it. Also, it was nice to see other YouTubers that I watch. He's talking about you, Ricky. I love this idea. Thank you, Alex. Gotta go. All right, man. Thank you for joining us, Mastermation 32. Um, all right, man. Well, tell us what you're working on right now as far as your next video, or is that the ID4 video that you're working on?
Yeah, that's one of them. Actually, there's been a lot of talk about the battery show, which is in Detroit next week. I'm gonna be there, so anybody who's like nerding out about batteries, like look for me, come say hi for sure. I'll be there. I'm running a panel and a couple other things, but I'll be there for a couple of days. So definitely, if anybody in the audience is watching is going to be there, definitely come say hi to me. I love meeting you guys. It's the same reason why Alex does these kinds of shows, to get to reach out to all of you. So
Yeah, man.
definitely
By the way, or
find
you
us.
just disappeared for
Yeah,
a
so the
second.
ID4 is coming.
Where are you streaming from? You're a little spotty, but where are you? Is it your
I
basement?
am.
What's going
I'm
on?
I'm not too far from you. I'm in the Central Valley. I'm in Tracy, my mom and dad's house.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, well, no, I'm in Vegas right now, so I just flew here last night.
Uh,
Yeah, so I'll be here for a week, and then because it's just so hot in here. But then I'm gonna go to Tennessee for the Chattanooga factory tour. So you'll be in Detroit, I'll be nearby in Tennessee checking out something different, and we'll compare notes.
oh, that sounds awesome. I'd love to hear how that goes. That's pretty interesting. I think there's a move towards more, cars built in America, and when VW builds this thing here, you mentioned the price difference, but also just general hearts and minds of consumers. I think people will appreciate that. That's super cool. Even
Yeah,
the
and
Mach-E, which is an American car company, they don't build them here, so it will
yeah,
be appreciated.
and it's interesting. It's not a new factory, as you know. They've had Chattanooga factory for a while. They've actually converted it from making gas cars to making electric cars. And to me, that's the whole holy grail of this whole thing, right? It's when the a company like Volkswagen Group, right, with all the big scandal, that now is taking their gas car making factory, and boom, now there's just not a little drop of gasoline in that factory. It's going to be all electric. Like, to me, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Even their factory, the Zwickau Mosel factory in Germany, which has kind of been the cradle of their car manufacturing presence for over 100 years, they've converted that over to pure electric. This is the news that I'm covering in my video. Is it's easy to dismiss companies, or I think there's a little bit of negative sentiment against VW. I kind of understand all that, but this company is holding battery days. They're converting factories over. To me, that's what I want to see, and they're doing it. So, and they've built a car that is perfect for the U.S. market, the crossover. They didn't bring some weird tiny two-door hatchback or some ridiculous thing. They brought a car that is literally what like 90% of Americans are probably looking at. North Americans in general, I think the cars are similar, and the requirements are similar for Mexico and Canada as well. So I think they've done a good job of all of that. Time will tell. There's going to be, the story is long, and we will see. But so far, I've been very happy to hear that. And the Chattanooga factory, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to that video. Definitely, we'll check that out when you make it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be making the entire video. Like, I want to see what I want to see, right? I don't commit to like making the video, but I definitely will have a report from that. And just for myself, like visiting factories is what, when I was talking to Warren, right? My point was like, you can report on the electric car revolution unless you're there on the front lines, right? Which is the factory. Because, I'm not just going to see the factory and drive the pre-production all-wheel drive. I'm going to talk to people who are working on the lines. I'm going to talk to people who've actually made this car. And most likely, I'm going to talk to Scott Keogh, who's the CEO of Volkswagen Group of America, who has been on my show. And I think he was one of the most honest and open CEOs out there, right? So he's in Munich right now, but I'm looking forward to meeting him in person. So I think it's important to just be there and see how these things are made. And you've been doing an amazing job at it. Like, I mean, every time I talk to you, you're somewhere checking stuff out and digging up a new story, and
Yeah, and this is a big one. Like, to your point, this is Volkswagen has a huge presence, and this factory is a huge deal for them. So this is a huge story. I'm very much looking forward to it. We have any kind of news you can find. I think it make for a great episode. I think people, VW fans or EV fans in general, should definitely bookmark that one and check it out.
Now, it's
That when it
interesting
comes
you
out.
mentioned that because, like, I don't consider myself a VW fan, right? Like, honestly, I couldn't care less about the cars that they're making right now. They're gas cars. I don't think they're very good looking. I don't think there's much tech in them, you know. I'm a fan of ID4 specifically, right? So I'm a specific car fan rather than the brand fan. Um, so, and I've seen an ID3. I mean, obviously it's not available here, and it's okay. It's a good car, but I think I'm for now we're going to be ID4 for now. What I'm waiting for, and hopefully they don't screw this one up, is the ID bus, right? Now that's good. I'm hoping that's going to be another iconic car. Is that something that you're interested in?
Absolutely. Yeah, my wife and I talk about that all the time. They can't make it fast enough. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Do you have any more information or details generally about when it's going to be available? Or
No, man, they're actually kind of keeping it up under wraps. I mean, there are a couple of things that I do know I can't say. I mean, it's just because of private conversations with somebody who, like works for Volkswagen Group. But I mean, they're definitely doing it for sure. I mean, it's not a secret, right? So I'm looking forward to it, just as long as it looks at least somewhat like the concept, right? I mean, the concept is great. Just don't get too far away from it. I think if they can execute it, if they don't mission E it, then and absolutely, I think they can. I mean, I would get one, right?
Michael Alvano says bus has to look retro. I agree. It has to.
Yeah.
You have to get that essence that they've captured in the prototype. A lot of the legacy automakers go wild on prototypes and then kind of completely go different directions. So I'm hoping that's not the case, and they definitely do deliver on what they've shown, because I think it'll do so well, especially right now with people doing more road trips. Especially if they're still on lockdown or can't travel internationally. Just driving around your own country could be such a fun thing to do right now. So that thing will sell well for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, man. Listen, thanks for jumping in. Always good to hear from you. And I'm sure I'll see you in my future streams. And we should do one on your channel. I enjoyed my, our debate with Ryan and Nikki, and we should do that again.
Sounds good, man. Hey, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you. Yeah.
Don't forget to put the link to your channel once you get off in the chat room, please.
Will do. Cheers. Enjoy Vegas.
Good to see you, man. All right, Ricky is always awesome. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's going to put that link in the chat. But I also got a super chat from Nate. I know we tried a few times, but hopefully next time. And obviously have a few questions for him as a truck driver. Nate says, thank you once again, Nate. Another $10 super chat says, sorry about the low quality. I can answer your question in the chat if you want. And I assume joining the stream would just be here on YouTube. Could be an invite button on your side of YouTube. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to do this. It looks like it worked out pretty good. By the way, I do have my queue is empty now, so I'm going to put once again the URL here if somebody wants to join and share with us. We do have a topic just in case we forgot. But what's missing in your electric vehicle? Come on, introduce yourself. Make sure your webcam is working. Make sure your mic is working. It's posted from Restream. That's just the software I'm using, but I don't know, it doesn't come from me. But that link that starts from Restream, that's the link. If you want to join, again, make sure you have a good connection. And we'll chat for a few minutes. Let's see. I'm going to try to catch up with some of the comments. Nigel says, I just charged my non-Tesla to 100%, 218 miles, a year old this week. Nigel, remind me, which car do you have? Definitely would like to know. Let's see, what if I do this? I'm still trying to run this software because it's a lot. And I'm in Vegas. If you guys go to my Instagram page, and I also posted it for my premium members, you'll see my setup. I literally have this cheap laptop on top of this board that I found in my garage because I just bought this house, and it's sitting on top of 2 rolls of toilet paper or whatever, the towels, the paper towels. So that's my sophisticated setup. Let's see. There was an ID4 comment from Manuel. Manuel says, by the way, the ID4 looked great while towing. Yeah, so I haven't done it. I know it's got a hitch already built in. I just don't have anything to tow, honestly. I've always been a 4-door sedan type of a guy. But it was like, this is one of the first crossovers that I thought looked good. So this is my really the first non-sedan car. Let's see. Thank you for your comment, Manuel. Um, oh yeah, that's right. Nigel has the Zoe. It's Renault Zoe. It's not unfortunately. I've seen one in person, but unfortunately, it's not available here in the U.S. I don't know if it would do greatly in the U.S. I feel like it's such an European car. That's his second Zoe, 52 kilowatt hour battery, and he had his first generation for 5.5 years. 5.5 years. Yeah, one of the best sold cars in Europe. I believe also you could lease. I don't know if that's still the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nigel. Um, if you can actually lease the battery separately from the car. Again, you guys can use that link if you want to jump in and chat live with me. Let me catch up to more. Mark in the chat room says, I test drove the ID4 twice, but I can't convince myself to swap from the Bolt to the ID4 price-wise yet. Well, the ID4 is closer to $30,000 if you get it, if you after incentives and most of the states rebates. So I think you should be fine. It's going to be cheaper than the Bolt, and you're definitely going to get more for it. Oh, and you don't have to put out fires when you do that. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a, I think that's a plus. All right, this one is in Russian, and yet I still don't understand. Pedro says, in my electric car, I'm missing the nesting doll. Unless it's a, well, I'm assuming you mean like on the dashboard, right? Unless I don't know the slang, what actual nesting doll means, but that's what it says. Let's pick a next comment. Mark says, good point. I paid $26,000 for my 2020 Chevy Bolt. I hope you're following all of the instructions to make sure it doesn't burn down your house, though the chances are tiny, but still. Let's see. Devin says, chip shortage is creating supply problems. I just made the video about, if you guys want to know what's going on, what this chip shortage is, what caused it, because it's way more than just COVID, obviously. I just made a video. Check it out. Did a lot of research, and you'll be surprised why the chip shortage actually is happening. Like, I'll give you one thing that I was surprised about. Apparently, the silicon that's used in the chips also is used to make beakers, the vials, for the COVID vaccine. So all of a sudden, that industry came in and grabbed a lot of it, and that contributed to the chip shortage. All right, Devin continues, says, should Volkswagen, Ford, Kia, Hyundai, etc. focus on EVs delivering the chips they have from their ICE lineup? No. Listen, don't forget, these car manufacturers, these are businesses. They're not like us, who just like, our thing is electric cars. They need to make money. And what makes money right now is gas cars for them. The electric cars are still about 3% of global sales. Norway aside, but generally speaking. So no, they're not going to put chips in electric cars. Now, there is some incentive for it in Europe, right? Because there's some, in China, there's some requirements of how many electric cars you have to make. And therefore, I can see those manufacturers who are selling in Europe switching the chips to the electric cars. I can see that. But in America, we're in the very last place of locations where manufacturers give a crap about exporting their electric cars, because there's almost no punishment here for not having one. Let's see. Now we're still exploring the question of what's missing in your electric car. Siu, hopefully I pronounced your name right, but probably I screwed it up. Sorry. I would love a standard outlet on my Tesla. Someone else said that, so I can plug in my laptop and do some work from my car. Someone else said that even if you have a passenger car, you want just a regular outlet. That's a good comment. Manuel says, after looking at the Rivian's MPGs, what do you think the Cybertruck efficiency will be like? They haven't made the truck yet, so we don't really know. They haven't made the Cybertruck, so it's hard to predict. It's hard to guess, especially with Tesla. That's just almost impossible. Um, Nate says, if you were asking me about the self-driving trucks taking over, I'm not really worried. They're having such a hard time with self-driving tech, and cars is going to, and then there's more to come. Let's see. Darren says, LOL, no fire. Good reason to buy another, but a Bolt. Um, Sometimes I don't understand what you guys are saying. Maybe some punctuation. Punctuation helps. My throat is just killing me already at this point. But let me know, guys, if you're joining me. Don't forget, we are talking about what is missing from your electric car. I put it here on the screen, just to remind you. Also, if you want to jump into just a live conversation with me with your webcam and your mic, you can do so, as we did with Nate, Eli, Ricky, and Eugene. That was fun. Thank you to Tommy Kimes. Thank you so much for $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. There is no message there, so I'm assuming this goes towards my Chipotle meal. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. Jay Ramirez says, oh, I just missed it. Here it is. I just missed it. Still new software. By the way, how's the background music? I lowered it a little bit. Does that make more sense? Okay, so Nate continues. That will require perfection to convince regulators to allow self-driving trucks on the road. There's a lot of difference between personal vehicles and commercial vehicles, just in the weight. Okay, I mean, it looks like you're not concerned. That's great. It's probably going to happen sooner or later, but I think a lot of people will have to maybe change or adjust what they do for a living, and it probably will take some time, but it is coming, right? Let's see. Catholic Cop PR, welcome back. I remember you from the last live stream and from the comments, actually, of the last video. I got a lot of interesting, good comments from my last video. Solar panels, just enough to stop phantom drain. Yes, I decided not to do solar panels for mine just for now. Either one of my houses, neither one here in Las Vegas, nor the one in Sacramento, just because my utility companies provide such cheap electricity, it just doesn't make sense to me just yet. Here's an odd comment. Willie Wang says, what's missing in my EV is an ICE engine. Well, so just so you know, ICE stands for internal combustion engine, so you just can't say ICE. But why would you, what a weird comment. You explain, unless you're just trying to troll. Let's see. I wish my Tesla had Waze, CarPlay, or Android Auto. That's right. That's not even available in Tesla yet, huh? Yeah, I use my Android Auto all the time in both my Bolt and my ID4. There was another comment that I was trying to showcase. Oh yeah, so Mark says kind of the same thing, huh? Google Maps or Waze, having good EV to charge routing is missing, but the for ABPR, ABRP. Okay, here it is. Jay Ramirez asks, what if Tesla pushes the Cybertruck past for the 2022? I think they will. Now that they said it's going to be available at the end of 2022, just knowing Elon time, it's very possible that they deliver like 20 of them in December 31st, and then really start the production in 2023. But hey, listen, I'm not worried about it. Tesla is selling. I mean, they're expanding so fast with 2 extra factories coming in on the market online later this year. That will double the amount of cars they're selling, and they can't sell them fast enough. So, not worried about Tesla at all, honestly, and neither should you. I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about Toyotas and Hondas and so forth. Oh, here's an interesting comment. USA EV, great username. Tesla is missing head-up display. Yeah, you know, and so is ID4. I would love a head-up display on an ID4. And you've found a supporter as well. Catholic Cop PR says that USA EV, yes. HUD. Sorry, I read it wrong. Oh, look at that. Expong Fangirl just joined us. We've been missing you for over an hour. Hey, Hangout. So the Xeon hydrogen fuel cell car, Spirus Panopolis, now pushing 1300 horsepower, but will have an 800 horsepower for mainstream. You know, I haven't researched much of that. Maybe I will at the end of it. By the way, Expong Fangirl, it would be nice to maybe get you on here if you have a webcam and a mic. Here, I will drop the URL one more time. If you or anybody else want to join me here live, it comes from, let me see if it comes through for you guys. But here it says restream.io, but that's me. And restream.io is just what I'm using to stream. So let's see how it came through for you guys. I'm going to do live chat. Oh, no, it came through as me. All right, so there you go. Toyota is making it. Well, actually, hold on a second. I don't know why I'm reading it off my phone. Roger M says Toyota is making a joint venture with Apple. Can you confirm? No, I can't confirm. I mean, I don't think anybody can confirm so far. But maybe it just came out the last couple of hours. I have not checked. So I don't know. That would be interesting, actually. That would make sense, right? All right, Expong Fangirl says, I know I missed the time, was watching the tennis. I can't believe you cheated on me with a tennis match. All right, Mark says, let's see, Alex, can we call attention to the fact that there is no DC fast charge option for non-Teslas for Central Texas to the bottom? I didn't know that. I did not know that Central Texas to the bottom of Texas, there's no fast charging. You know, I'm assuming that it probably has something to do with either local regulations, which I'm assuming are not that great for electric cars in Texas, or either EVgo or Electrify America do not see enough use for them to put them there yet, right? They kind of have to prioritize the most common routes. So I'm assuming that would probably be the reason, but I don't know. I hope you get them soon. Jay Ramirez says Apple bought a car testing track outside of Phoenix. Yeah, but you know what? They've done a lot of things that like indicate they're gonna have a car at some point for years, and nothing happened. So okay, right? Here's an interesting question. Emmanuel says, Alex, will you be buying a Cybertruck? I probably won't be. Like I said, I first of all, I'm kind of dumb. I'm not buying another Tesla until customer service is at least average. I'm not buying any product with an average crappy customer service. That's the reason I stopped buying Tesla. So that will answer that. But let's say they improve their customer service. I don't like not having a head-up display or instrumental panel in front of me. So because of that, I'm not a customer for Model Y or Model 3 or the Cybertruck. On top of that, I really don't have a need for a big tank. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people are buying it just to own a Cybertruck, but I'm 44 years old. I'm kind of done showing off. And I'm not saying everybody who's going to buy a Cybertruck is showing off, but so probably not. Yeah, plus I've never had a need for a pickup truck. So yeah. Another super chat. Thank you so much. Angel says, are you going to VCF Midwest? Somebody already asked me that, right? Unless it was also you. No, I'm not going there. I've never even heard of it. And again, the way I travel usually when I get there is as a media person, as a journalist, and usually a brand would be sponsoring a trip to get me there, unless it's within my where I live, which is Vegas, Sacramento, and let's say San Francisco Bay Area. So no, I mean, I wish I would be going. Trust me, I wish I would be going to that conference that Rick is going to, right? For the batteries. Let's see. Oh, sorry guys, it's just my throat is just killing me. I do wish Tesla left the display in front of the driver. Yeah, I mean that. In the door handle, that's another thing. The door handle. Don't get me started. Roger says. Roger M says, Alex, here's a headline: Apple car back on track with potential Toyota deal report. So I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have to kind of research it. Definitely will cover it in my weekend news if that's true. But again, it's just like, okay, so what are they making? Are they making a Toyota with an Apple badge or an Apple car with a Toyota badge? Okay, we'll see. Interesting. I mean, I'm all for let Apple jump in. I think because of their excellent user experience, I think that would be great player in the industry. Nigel says Amazon getting together with GM to make the Blue up. Well, I love collaboration between brands, so I'm all for it. Just let's do it already. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss any more of the comments. By the way, thanks for joining me, and thanks for all super chats. If you're just joining us, we're talking about what's missing in your electric car. I talked about my ID4. Everybody talked about my ID4. Eli and Ricky, but that's fine. All right, completely empty. This was my hot tea with honey to see how long I'm going to be able to last. I do have a meeting in another 40 minutes. I don't know how I'll be able to talk. And then I have a date. So got to save my voice. Let me see if I can answer one or two more questions. This one's from Tom. It's more likely an Apple badge with Toyota underneath it to where they build the chassis and develop everything for them, and they badge it is an Apple car. Probably that's what's going to happen. I still would like Apple to actually become an automaker. I think they can. They definitely have the brains and money for it. So let's see. Jerry, is it a Tinder date? I don't think so. I gotta tell you, Tinder has been pretty bad to me in terms of like, I don't get, I got no matches in the last week. I think not here in Las Vegas, not in Sacramento. I think it is. Let's see. I gotta see where. Yeah. Okay, Cupid. Yeah, okay, Cupid. Okay, Cupid and Facebook dating actually works the best here in Vegas. I don't know why. Bumble and Tinder doesn't, but who knows? You know, dating's been complicated, and by complicated I mean sucks in both cities. So let's see. Pete Glass at fully charged outside UK last Friday. Can't believe how many different EVs are on the market. Forgot to look for the only Model Y in the UK. I didn't even know Fully Charged had an event in there. I think they're having one in Texas, out of all places, here in the US. Energy84 says people don't take Tinder seriously. I mean, I know some people who met on Tinder and ended up being in an actual real relationship and even marriage. So I just don't know why there's just no matches here. Like, I have matches in Sacramento, but here, just nothing. Oh, look, you guys have more opinions about Tinder than you have about electric cars. Roger M jumps in, says Tinder is very bad. If you want a girlfriend, don't use dating apps. Start with local groups. As an example, charity groups. Well, so I've had a great time finding relationships on dating apps. I think all my last 3 out of 4 serious relationships were all from online dating apps or websites like it used to be right before that. And my first relationship wasn't just because there was no dating apps back then. You know, I'm old. So no, I've had quite a, you know, it's not the apps, it's the people. I always try to say it, you know, I talk to a lot of these girls and, you know, online and like, oh, I hate these apps. I'm like, it's not the apps, it's the people. Unfortunately, because of the internet and how easy it is to shut a person out of your life or bring another person into your life, there's a lot of just ghosting and flaking, and I see it more and more even outside of dating. I see it in personal relationships, friendships. I see it in our business relationships. I mean, I literally just got ghosted by a couple of brands that I not only done business with for a while, know these people personally, like met with them, seen their kid pictures, like, and they would ghost me. So I think it goes beyond the dating apps. I think this is where we unfortunately going with this whole thing. But don't get me started on that. Joel says what's missing is being able to buy an Neo ES8 in the US. That thing is the best. It is an awesome car. I love Neo. I wish they would come to the United States, and I wish actually all the cool Chinese brands that make cool electric cars like Xpeng Motors and Neo and BYD all come here to the United States. I think competition is good. I think they will come here, and I can't wait for that. Let's see. All right, I can't disagree with this one from Johnny. Let's add some likes to this chat, people. Stay charged. Absolutely, hit that. Well, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the subscribe button and then bell notification icon, and then of course don't forget to like this video. Now, I usually hide these videos from like you can only watch a replay if you either subscriber with a bell notification icon or you clicked on the link in one of my social media posts on Tinder or here on YouTube. There's a good comment from Emmanuel saying he says the Chinese will beat US EV makers. I think they will if they will ever come here. I think so. Let's see. Here's another comment. CEO says, are you going to the Electrify Expo September 18th and 19th in Orange County, California? I'm not. Nobody really invited me. So I just got tickets. I'm going with a friend. Maybe you can find a date there. I don't think I go to electric car events to find days, but that would be perfect. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like there's so many different events, and I try to go when I'm invited. Nobody really reached out and invited me. However, I will be, the 18th is where I'm flying back from Chattanooga. So I guess there's still time to fly to Los Angeles, but again, or Orange County. But again, no invitation, so I'm just here. Oh, To Bit Da Vinci says he'll be there. There you go. But that's because you live there, right? So let us know how it goes, Ricky. Here's another comment from John. BYD, Build Your Dreams, are going to do a big push into Australia and New Zealand. I can't wait. MG already our cheapest EV in Kiwi land. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would really, really love to have those manufacturers who don't do business here to do business here. But we're not helping. We don't have enticing enough laws, right? Let's see. All right, so guys, my voice is really just about to go. So I just want to say thank you for joining me, and thanks for jumping in. For all the brave people like Nate, I know our connection wasn't the best. Hopefully we'll try it again. And Eugene, and of course to other YouTubers like Ricky and Eli, thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the super chats. Guys, I always appreciate those. I hope I answered as many questions as I could. And of course, don't forget, we're doing this every Tuesday, 1 p.m. If you want to jump in with me with your camera, that would be great. I love getting to know you through just kind of a personal interaction. And I've had a lot of fun doing these live streams. So I am all out of my voice. Thank you for watching me. Don't forget, next Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Looking forward to that. The next video that's going to be released on Thursday is going to be my interview with Cindy Monroe. And after that, of course, the Sunday video with all of the electric car news, mainly from IAA. There were a lot of unveilings, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, looking forward to all of your comments. And of course, remember to stay charged.